Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Blackbird Nick, and today it's that episode. It's that ghoulish, dark, kind of morbid episode, but the one that gets good numbers, so you guys seem to like it. It's the 2025 list of who died and predictions for 2026 with Noah. How you doing, Noah?
Not too bad, not too bad. And, you know, I like to call this the In Memoriam episode.
It is.
And I like to think it's, you know, one of the more popular podcasts of the year, you know, behind the Cigar of the Year. I think it's right up there.
It is.
People look forward to it.
It's a big episode, and, you know, it's one of those things that people want to know, like, who we're going to predict, and they want to know, I mean, you know, it's one of those things you hear about people dying all throughout the year, but then when you go back and actually review it, you're like, oh, shit, that was this year. And
yeah, no, I had a lot of that.
Yeah. So, no, it's a big deal. But yeah, so no, we're gonna review who passed away this year. We're gonna make our predictions about who we think is gonna pass away next year. And before we get into that, let's get a cigar going. You have a cigar?
Yes, it is, full disclosure behind the curtain, it is the 23rd of December we're recording this.
Yes, that is important to note, is that we are recording this in advance. So, you know, because obviously I'm not going to, you know, make you work on Christmas. Right. Yeah.
So it is cold. It is cold. And so generally when it comes to this time of year, if I'm smoking, I don't have the luxury of being able to smoke in my house, as I am married. So I'm sure there's a lot of listeners that can relate to that.
Sure.
So the only indoor smoking I get this time of year is generally in a cigar lounge, and those are kind of few and far between where I'm located. So I think the closest one is probably about an hour and a half away.
Okay.
So most of my smoking this time of year is done in my car, driving. I don't do much driving for work or stuff. So I'm in my car, and when I'm in my car, it's cold. It's currently 28 degrees here, which actually is pretty warm for this time of year, but it's only going to get colder.
Yeah.
I say all of that to say this, that when it's cold outside, as you found out, your cigars are going to reflect that cold, and you're going to have a lot of little popping of the wrapper, cracking
issues.
of the wrapper.
Yeah.
So generally this time of year, I look for stuff that's a little sturdier. So I always keep a sleeve of Toscano Classicos in my glove box.
There you go.
And those are a very sturdy cigar that require no humidification, so they're good to go. So that's what I'll be smoking.
Oh, all right.
Right now, I should say.
All right. Well, I dug through the humidor. I was trying to find something appropriate for this episode. And I saw one, and I'm like, you know what? That one right there. That's the one. So I'm going to be smoking the West Tampa Circle of Life Toro 6x54.
That is a theme, Mr. Miller.
Is it not?
Is a theme.
That's how we do it in the big leagues. So it has a Ecuador Habano wrapper, an Ecuador Sumatra binder, and filler from the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. And we're going to go ahead and cut these cigars, get that going, because I want to get the cigar going, because we got a lot to cover here. I mean, we got a lot to cover. So
it's going to be a lengthy episode, I feel.
It could be. So that's why I'm getting right to it. So the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So head on over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut my cigar. I got a different cutter. I left my SV cutter in the house, and I was too lazy to get up and go get it because I got to like navigate around the heaters and everything. And I'm wearing like these slippers that look like Bigfoot's feet. I bought them at a Buc-ee's, and but they're great because they're very big and fluffy. And they're awesome when you stub your toe on furniture because there's so much padding in the front to simulate Bigfoot's foot that like I could stub my toe on anything and like I'm not going to feel it. The problem is when you're trying to navigate in a tight space like out here in the garage with the heaters and everything all around you, you tend to start kicking things by accident. And anyway, so I chose not to go inside and get the cutter. So I'm using a little.
Well, that's the beauty of having a backup cutter.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. I keep a little perfect cutter out here on the bench, so that I got that going, and we'll go from there. But anyway, all right. Well, while we get our cigars lit, let's hear the greatest commercial you've ever heard.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard. Yeah.
All righty. Well, I am lit and going.
I as well, and I'm going to throw a flag on the play here, Nick.
Okay.
I don't think that is the greatest commercial ever recorded. I'm going to take a hot take here.
Oh, God.
I think I prefer Caratoba. That's what I think.
Oh.
I think that's the greatest commercial you've ever
You
heard.
son of a bitch. I'm going to have fucking Jonathan making fun about it. Oh, when it starts playing on Nick's show, then, I'll know it's the greatest commercial ever. And, that. I heard that comment. Oh, that's funny. Caratoba. All right. So let's, before we get into who died this year, I feel like we should do a little review and reflect here. And we should go back over our death predictions for 2025 so that, we kind of know where we're at.
Sure.
And then we can get into who passed. We can kind of get our score for the year. And then we can look ahead to 26. So,
you know what? And I'm going to, even before we do that.
Okay.
You know what? I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while, Nick. How you doing? Let's do a little catch up. Huh?
I've been good. It's been busy. Gearing up for, well, again, we are recording pre-Christmas. So,
correct.
Yeah, so this might be a little, it's coming out on Boxing Day, but it's pre-Christmas.
How appropriate that is.
Oh, I know there's a boxing match you want to talk about for a moment. We can talk about that in the Villiger Entertainment Report, but
I was thinking as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's been busy. It's been good though. It's just getting ready and getting down to the end of the year and looking ahead to next year and figuring out, all the fun stuff that's going to happen next year and how to make it happen. So, it's been nice.
I mean, I'll be honest. November and December just seem to have flown by.
Oh, I agree completely.
Does not feel like Christmas at all. It feels like Halloween was last week.
Yes. Yep. I know. I agree completely. And yet January this year crept. I feel like that month took 6 months to get done.
I don't. I blame the cold for that.
There's some truth to that. Snow and ice will do that to you, but it's been busy. But I don't know. How have you been?
I'm good. Actually, as we record this, I just got back. For those of you that don't know, the listeners that don't know, I am the lead CNA at a memory care facility.
Okay.
And so they nominated me to be Santa. So I just came back from they're having the Christmas party. And so I was Santa, and I was handing out gifts to all the residents, and it's really kind of a tricky thing, you know. What do you get somebody who doesn't remember if they were naughty or nice, you know?
That's when you just give everybody gifts and call it a day.
Well, that's when you give out slippers and morphine.
You know what? That's a good damn Christmas gift right there. Slippers and morphine.
The gift that keeps on giving.
You know, I mean, I could get behind that.
Well, I know what I'm going to get you.
There we go.
Ho, 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 ho.
I already got slippers. I just need the morphine. Holy shit. All right. Well, I like it. Oh shit. All right. Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of other things coming up, but death predictions of 25. So yes. I'm going to read off yours and then I'll read off mine. All right.
Perfect.
So yours, you had Don King.
Ooh.
You had Robert Redford, and no spoilers. We'll get into who died this year and we'll find out our points later, but you had Don King, you had Robert Redford, Mel Brooks, Gene Hackman, Rosemary Harris, Eva Marie Saint, Robert Duvall, Bruce Willis, David Attenborough, Frankie Valli, Clint Eastwood, and Julie Andrews. I had Ted Turner, Bill Cosby, Bruce Willis, Ozzy Osbourne, Michael J. Fox, Gene Hackman, Carol Burnett, Mel Brooks, Alan Alda, Yoko Ono, Jack Hanna, Joe Biden, and Warren Buffett. Now, let's get into who passed away this year.
Let's
do that. So, we're going to go by month.
And this segment is brought to you by Blackbird Cigars.
When you see a flock of blackbirds coming your way, it's the herald of death.
Uplifting story.
Right? Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to go by month, and we're going to start off, obviously, with January. And we kicked off 2025 right there on New Year's Day with Wayne Osmond, singer and guitarist with the Osmonds, part of the Osmond family. So we had Wayne Osmond kicking off the year. He was followed by Peter Yarrow, folk singer-songwriter from Peter, Paul, and Mary, and part of the 1960s folk music revival. From there, we had more musicians. We had Sam Moore, soul singer from the duo Sam and Dave, famous for the songs Soul Man and Hold On, I'm Coming. Then also in January, we had director and filmmaker David Lynch. He was behind Twin Peaks, Blue Velvet, and Mulholland Drive, and apparently was famous for bringing surrealism into mainstream cinema. And then finally, well, no, I'm sorry, there are two more. I thought there was only one more. We have Dick Button. He was a two-time Olympic figure skating champion and longtime commentator who transformed the sport's broadcast presence. And then the one that kind of hurts. This was a funny dude. It Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker made his MLB debut in 1962 with the Milwaukee Braves. In 1964, Uecker was playing for the St. Louis Cardinals when they won the World Series. He retired from baseball and started calling games for the Milwaukee Brewers in 1971, which he continued to do for 54 seasons. He also was an actor appearing in the movie Major League as well as the TV show Mr. Belvedere. Uecker was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2003. So that's January.
And up in these parts, Bob Uecker is a legend for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, he's funny dude. Okay, so moving into February, fewer people in February. You had Michelle Trachtenberg, actress known for Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girl. She was only 39. She was young. And then you had Roberta Flack, singer and songwriter. Flack was nominated for 14 Grammys, winning 5, including a Lifetime Achievement Award for and a Grammy for her hit song, Killing Me Softly with his song. So, Roberta Flack. Now in March, there's only one that made my list, or the only one that I saw that was like, prominent enough to mention here is 76-year-old George Foreman, heavyweight boxing legend who won 2 eras and became a pop culture entrepreneur via the Foreman Grill. You're a boxing guy.
That one hit.
Yeah,
that one hit hard. Yeah, probably the first fight that I ever remember watching. I was 10 years old. I was in a hotel room back when you could watch boxing on HBO. And it was him winning the heavyweight title again at 45 years old against Michael Moore in 1994.
Wow.
So that was 45 years old, almost 20 years to the day when he won the title for the first time. He retired, came back, 1994. George Foreman, Michael Moore.
And then he started draining the fat off of our food.
Yeah, the sad part is most people of this generation probably know him as
from
the grill salesman, not this heavyweight champion in the world. And to add to that point, most of them know him as this really like joyful and nice guy.
He was a happy guy.
Yeah, in the 70s, that man was a bad dude.
Oh, shit.
He was a mean, bad dude. One of the best documentaries I've ever watched. You don't even have to be a boxing fan to watch this, but it was all about when he fought Ali. It's called When We Were Kings.
Okay.
It's a documentary. It's really good. And, yeah, he was a bad dude.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on to April, we have Val Kilmer. Hollywood actor from Top Gun, The Doors, and Batman Forever, amongst a whole lot of others. One of my personal favorites of his was The Ghost in the Darkness with Michael Douglas.
Oh, yes. I was actually just going to ask you what your favorite Val Kilmer movie is.
Yeah, that one's in there. Real Genius is pretty high, though, too.
I'm torn personally between Tombstone and Heat.
Boy, those are 2 really good ones too. And you know what? I'm kicking my own ass right now for forgetting about Tombstone, because his portrayal of Doc Holliday is I think it's actually probably the best role he had in any movie.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Yes.
Although a lot of people point to The Doors for him.
Yeah, I mean he did good in that too. But I would probably go for Doc Holliday myself.
So, also in April, we have Wink Martindale, long-running radio personality and beloved game show host. He hosted a number of game shows, including Tic-Tac-Doe and Gambit, with a decade-spanning TV career. So, Wink Martindale.
He was basically like out of central casting 1970s game show host.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you think.
Quintessential.
Like AI was... Yeah, if AI was to create a 1970s game show host, it would be Wink Martindale. Now, 1960s game show host would be Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson.
Where you could basically have sex with a contestant on air. And be okay with that.
And may have.
And as I like to call it, the good old days.
The good old days. Well, pivoting hard from that little descriptive, we have Pope Francis, born in Argentina, named the Archbishop of Buenos Aires in 1998 and created a cardinal in 2001. In 2013, he was elected pope, becoming the first Jesuit pope in nearly 500 years. So, yeah, pretty hard pivot there from Richard Dawson. But anyway.
Indeed.
So, moving on, May was not kind to beloved TV sitcom personalities. In May, we lost George Wendt, actor who is best known as Norm Peterson on Cheers.
And like how you preface this segment, this is like a prime example. Like, this doesn't feel like this year. Like, I would have thought that was like a year or two prior.
I know. It's like, I forgot that was this year. But
if I could interject, Nick, here, I'm sure most of the listeners I'm sure most of the listeners are aware, but if they're not, basically this whole thing started as a celebrity dies, and I text you and text other people.
Yeah.
Hey, celebrity! Exclamation point! And specific times I can remember, like, I'll text you this, and then your reaction would be this and this, and the Georgia Lent one, in particular, I remember texting you that. That was a big, not only a big shock, but also like, oh man, that sucks,
Yeah, because I had just binged Cheers like in the last couple of years,
Yes, yes.
And Norm and Cliff are like the best part of that show.
And the memes that followed, I remember too.
Oh yeah,
about like heaven and welcoming George, and then they're all like, Norm, or
yeah.
No, it wasn't heaven. So
that one sucked. And then the other one from May, also a sitcom, Loretta Swit, Emmy Award-winning actress, best known as Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan on MASH.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. Yep, you had Norm and Hot Lips both passing away in May. Now,
Cheers and MASH.
Cheers and MASH,
that sounds like something they would eat in England.
That's bangers and mash.
Well, I know it sounds like something they would eat.
What is a banger? Is a what? A sausage, right?
I believe so. Like a sausage or
like mash, or a mashed potato.
Interesting enough, as we're on this topic at English cuisine, I recently encountered, and I'm not sure if this is the whole country or just certain parts of the country, because if you follow English culture, it's almost like I've actually gotten to be pretty good at this, but like I could almost spot the accent from the area of England.
Oh, okay.
They're very distinct. I watch a lot of boxing, so that's part of it. But I can spot a Liverpool accent from a Manchester accent or whatever.
Okay.
So there's this term for potato chips I just discovered. What do you think they call potato chips in England, or at least certain parts of England?
Is it crisps?
Yes, crispers. Yes.
Okay, I did. Okay, yeah, crisps. Yeah.
That is way cool. That is way cooler than potato.
Dude, there are some things. Yes, there are some things that they call things that we don't. That I would prefer that.
And there's this reel I think I watched recently too, where like Chinese food is a little different over there, and they all refer to it as how do they say it? Like,
oh Lord.
It's like doing Chinese, or we're gonna do Chinese, and it's all this food, and it also there's just little subtle differences between like American Chinese food and English Chinese food, and
okay,
it's just interesting to me. I don't know. That's a rabbit hole right there.
I'm very picky about my Chinese food. I know my place that I like to go. And if I go elsewhere and order the dish that I get at my place, it's never quite the same. And it's just kind of like, oh, it's not the same. And I don't know. I'm very picky about my Chinese food.
So like in a buffet situation, a Chinese buffet situation, you're not doing very many items. You're just sticking to select items.
Yeah, very select. And to be honest, my preference these days, I very rarely go to the Chinese buffet, but unfortunately, the Chinese buffet I find is the place where you can go and get, I don't know exactly what you call it. I don't know. It's not really stir fry because it's not like in a wok, but like you go through and you get like the veggies and the meat and you pick out the different things and you tell them like what kind of sauce you want on it, and they put it on the flat top griddle and they like chop it up and like stir it.
Are we talking like Mongolian grill? It sounds like Mongolian grill.
I mean, kind of, but not ish, but like it's at the Chinese buffet. So like it's
I would call that Mongolian.
Poor man's Mongolian, grill. I don't know, whatever.
Sure,
it's not maybe hibachi. It's not quite hibachi. I guess it's hibachi-ish. It's a hibachi adjacent.
I think I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking.
But I like that because then you get the bowl and it's got all the stuff in it, and I'm happy. But
I mean, that's a healthier option too.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely better than going through and getting a giant plate of General Tso's.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I heard General Tso's was a chicken. frankly.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So
All right,
June.
who else died?
So June. Moving on to June. We're going to start off with Frederick Forsyth. He was a British novelist whose political thrillers like Day of the Jackal helped to define that genre. You have Brian Wilson, member of the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
That was a big one, as I recall. That was a pretty big one. And then Sly Stone, legendary singer and songwriter, best known for founding the band Sly and the Family Stone in 1967. The band had hits such as Dance to the Music and Everyday People. Sly and the Family Stone performed at Woodstock in 1969. So that was June. Now, moving into July, we had a number of them. Six. We had 6 listed here for July. And I'll start with Michael Madsen, actor noted in roles in Quentin Tarantino films such as Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill. So
I tell you what I know him most from.
Okay.
Those movies, yes, but I thought he did a great job as Sonny Black in Donnie Brasco.
There you go. He was always just that kind of like big bruiser type, you know?
Yeah, for sure. He was definitely a heavy, kind of a tough guy. Yeah, he did very well.
He was a tough dude that you didn't want to mess with. Next up, we have Malcolm Jamal Warner, actor best known as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. And that one, I think, if I remember the details of that correct, I think that one was pretty sad. I think he and his kid were out in the ocean, and he like saved his kid, but he got taken under and drowned or something
like that. Yeah, it was. Yeah. That sounds about right.
That one, as I recall, was pretty sad. So, I mean, not that any of these aren't sad. I mean, let's be real. We should probably clarify again, just because we don't wish any of these people ill. We don't wish any of them passed. I mean, but as the cigar I'm smoking is named, it's the circle of life. Everybody has an end point, you know, and so it's like we're just commemorating those famous pop culture people that, you know, passed away this year, and you know, and I'd also like to point out now, and I'll say it again later, when we get to the prediction part, we don't want them to die. In fact, again, we are recording this on December 23rd. If by chance one of the people we name passes away between now and December 26th, when this episode comes out, we did not kill them.
Yes, we don't need another Jimmy Carter.
We don't need another Jimmy Carter. We had that last year, and we don't need that again this year. So if somebody passes away in those 3 days, we didn't do it. It just was random.
We did not leave them voicemails asking for them to be on the show.
I haven't asked any of these people on my list to come onto this show. So, yes. Okay.
Yes, much like when you watch the Oscars, this is an in memorandum thing. This is a way of honoring
precisely,
and then then predicting the future honoring.
Yeah, exactly. You got to look ahead. Okay, so continuing on for July. We have Hulk Hogan, professional wrestling icon whose mainstream popularity helped elevate the sport. Now, his legacy is a bit squishy, you know. He's obviously had some trials and tribulations. He's not the squeaky clean hero that everybody remembers from the 80s, you know. I mean, he was human and had his failings.
Yeah,
but, you know.
Sure. And I think people certainly of our age are really kind of like, that's a real tough one for us because, I mean, we grew up in the Hulk Hogan era. We saw Prime Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
So, like, we almost put him on a pedestal, as it were, you know.
Dude, so I've been watching a lot of wrestling lately. I've been watching the AEW, you know. But I remember as a kid watching the WWF and you had the Hulk Hogan rock and wrestling era, man. You had Hogan and Savage and Andre the Giant and Hacksaw and Barber, Brutus Barber, the Beefcake or whatever, and
Brutus the Barber,
oh my
God,
God,
Snake,
Jake the Snake, and it was fantastic. They even had a cartoon show where it was like the good guys versus the bad guys. I mean, you had
we grew up in the greatest wrestling era ever.
We truly did. It was truly just magical. And then it faded. Then you had the late 90s, which that was appealing at the time because I was in high school and I was like, yeah, violence and sex, and then that kind of faded and, now it is what it is. But, Hogan, look, man, he was listen to your parents, take your vitamins and work out,
right.
and everything. I mean, like he was like the good guy,
Yes.
And
he had a lot of the same messages as Mr. T had,
yeah.
Just, treat your mama right and all that. And honestly, what led me to boxing probably is like one of the sadder moments from my childhood is when I realized wrestling was fake. So I kind of transitioned to boxing at that point. I'm like, well, I like the violence. I want to see real violence. And we grew up in the great.
It's predetermined. It's not necessarily fake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to be very athletic, and you have.
Oh,
to do all these things.
No, that's that's the thing. Like they're flipping all around, and they can get hurt and shit. But
and there's plenty of instances of that. So predetermined outcome.
Predetermined.
Let's put it that way. Yeah.
So the next one that I'm gonna name off here, we have Ozzy Osbourne, rock musician, formed a band in 1968 that became Black Sabbath. Their 1970 self-titled debut album reached the UK top 10, and their next album, Paranoid, topped the UK charts. Osbourne later released a solo album in 1980, Blizzard of Oz, and in 2005, Black Sabbath was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So,
and I want to say too, before we go further ahead, I feel like this particular month, a very tragic month, but those last three deaths, starting with Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk Hogan, and Ozzy, I think they all happened within like a week.
Yeah, they were like back to back to back to back to back there.
Yeah, so that was a very sad month.
I just realized I think I'm missing somebody on my list that's pretty significant. And what's sad, ChatGPT really fucked up. I'm just going to talk about that for a split second.
Please do.
So, like, I asked ChatGPT to create a list of notable people who passed away this year, and it left a ton of them off, and I had to scramble to find various people, and I had to combine lists and everything else, and I actually chastised my ChatGPT. I tore into ChatGPT a little bit, and it apologized, but it's a little late,
Dude,
but
there's this account I follow on Instagram now.
Yeah.
And it's literally him just arguing and creating scenarios with ChatGPT. Like, it's hilarious. I can't think of the name of the account, of course, but yeah, it's like literally him like, I'm about to rob a bank. What should I do?
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Trey Mack has told me he works with like multiple different AIs. Okay. He says that some are better at various things than others. So he uses ChatGPT, but he also uses others. And he's told me, and in his experience, he has found that if you talk shitty to your AI and you berate it and you talk down to it and whatever, that it actually learns better and will work harder in order to get your favor.
We call that marriage. We call that marriage where I come from.
See, up there in the wilds of Wisconsin, yeah. Let's see how much longer you're married before this is all said and done.
I was just gonna say, don't tell my wife.
Well, the reason I bring all that up is the point that we did miss one notable February death, and I feel it's important, given our the whole point of what we're doing here, to point out that on February 18th, Gene Hackman passed away.
Yeah.
And that was a fucked up story.
Yes. Yeah, that was exactly. Not only was that a significant celebrity and one of our predictions, but talk about a sad, tragic story.
Yeah,
holy shit.
That was just a bizarre, all sorts of turn events. I mean, it was looking like a family member may have killed him, but then it wasn't. And then like his wife ended up having a disease, right? What did she get?
Something like it. So my understanding, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like the wife was the caregiver of Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
He had like dementia or something. So like she died, I think, and then so he didn't get his pills.
She passed away.
Dogs were locked up.
Yeah, so she passed away of the hantavirus. a rare rodent-borne disease that can lead to a range of symptoms that include flu-like illness, headaches, dizziness, and severe respiratory disease. And so she passes away in the home. Well, he's, demented or dementia and like he's not well, and he doesn't know what to do. The dog is, like you said, locked up in a kennel. Well, he can't, he's not worried about that. So this poor dog passes away in the kennel. She's like, passed away on the floor. And apparently, God, this is fucked up to even read this. Hackman is believed to have died about a week later of heart disease with complications from Alzheimer's because he wasn't taking his pills because
his meds. Yeah.
And so they found.
So he's walking around like life is normal. Dead wife, locked up dog.
Yeah. And
that is sad, dude.
And then they were found on February 26th. So
way to drop the fucking ball, AI.
Yeah, I know. That's like a really big one. So you know what, ChatGPT? I'm not happy considering I'm paying you $10 a month for the actual program here. So it's like,
Yeah, you know what? This makes me feel a little better that we're not going to face like a Terminator scenario though. Like they have a long ways to go.
Yeah, we got a little ways to go because I mean, if they can't even bring up that when I ask for notable pop culture deaths, it's like come the hell on.
I mean, that shocked the world, man.
Well, that was a big story for a while, and I can't, and
weeks,
and it was only when we got to Ozzy, and I was like thinking of my point tally that I was like, oh wait, we didn't.
Yeah, I was
going to
say because one of us predicted. One of us predicted. Yeah,
we both predicted Gene Hackman. So
because he had the dementia for a minute.
Yeah, it was sad. It was sad. So the next one for July was Connie Francis, singer known for hits of Who's Sorry Now, Everybody's Somebody's Fool, and Pretty Little Baby. So you had that?
Yeah. And she had actually shortly before her death, she had a resurgence of her career.
Yeah, that one song, that Pretty Little Baby, was on TikTok.
We talked about this on the previous pod, but people were discovering her for the first time, based on the song. People were making TikToks to this song, and then she kind of got a resurgence, and she didn't even know what TikTok was.
Dude, it's kind of like that one. It's kind of like that one friggin' artist, that Kato. He does the song "Turn the Lights Off," the one that's in the John Hamm, memes going on right now.
Yes, I love that meme.
That dude, he freaking woke up and all of a sudden his song was number 1 on the Spotify charts, and he's just like, "What the hell is going on?" And it all.
So ironically, he experienced the John Hamm meme when he found that.
Yes, exactly.
Ecstasy.
Exactly. All right. So rounding out July, we have Chuck Mangione, jazz flugelhorn star, whose song "Feels So Good" became a defining smooth jazz crossover hit. Chuck Mangione, you might recognize, he was prominently featured in King of the Hill quite a bit. He was the main spokesman for the Megalomart store, but he has that kind of horn song that it's when you hear it, you know it, but you don't have any idea who played it. But when you hear it, you're like, Chuck Mangione. So yeah. Anyway,
July was a rough month. July
was a rough month. August, I had to dig on August. ChatGPT didn't give me any of these. I had to dig for all of these in order to find these. Okay. August, we have Jim Lovell, NASA astronaut who flew Gemini and Apollo missions and commanded Apollo 13, central to one of space flight's most famous survival stories. So, you had the Tom Hanks guy, basically, passing away at 97. Lonnie Anderson, actress best known as Jennifer Marlowe on WKRP in Cincinnati, a signature sitcom role of the area.
And I believe she was married to Tom Selleck.
Was it Tom Selleck? I think it was.
Or Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. It was Burt Reynolds. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm seeing a mustache, but I don't know which mustache.
I always get I get Tom Selleck and Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, it was Burt Reynolds. It was Burt Reynolds. Here's one that you and I know mourned. Jerry Adler, actor that played Hesh on The Sopranos.
Oh, Hesh, yes. Hesh.
Yep. He did a lot of other stuff, but that's all I cared about.
That's what I know him for. He was so good in that role too.
Exactly. And then Terrence Stamp. He's an actor. He's in a bunch of stuff, but I know him as General Zod in Superman 2. He was the main bad guy, Kryptonian guy that beat the shit out of Christopher Reeve in Superman 2.
Now, here is an example of, okay, let's say that death happened, and if this literally probably happened this way. I'm like, does this warrant a hey? Should I text this out? Are people going to know who this is? Like, you would know. Because,
I'm the one who texted you about him, and you
probably,
were like, you're like, I had to look him up, and I'm like, I didn't.
Exactly.
That happens a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
That does happen.
It's like discretionary best,
Yeah, exactly. Moving into September, we had 3 that are listed here. We have Charlie Kirk, conservative activist and co-founder of Turning Point USA, whose death drew widespread coverage.
Oh, man.
Probably one of the few assassinations that I can remember in my lifetime like that. Because when you think back, the 60s was, everybody was assassinating everybody in the 60s. But that kind of seemed to have slowed down,
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on this too much.
Well,
but
me
I remember
neither.
talking to you. I remember talking to you about this, and I saw the video.
Oh, I saw the video that day too, and I was like,
and I was like, well, this is fake,
Mm-hmm.
because it didn't look real. And then,
well, that's the problem of the age we live in, by the way, with all this AI shit. But
and then exactly,
yeah,
and then it dawned on me. Like, I guess I only know people dying from movies, being shot. So it's one of those things where unless you've seen death up close, somebody being murdered up close, you don't really know what it looks like. And
the movies exaggerate it; they make it so much more,
And so it was just so chilling in the fact that the whole world saw it essentially live.
Yeah,
it didn't look real. It was just, that stuck with me for weeks, man. That was.
Yeah,
it was it was an assassination caught live on camera. I mean, that would be akin to seeing any assassination in the past, live and circled instantaneously on your phone. It just, that was a dark time.
It was messed up. All right, so we'll move on from him to Robert Redford, Oscar-winning actor and director, founder of Sundance Film Festival, championing independent cinema. So.
What's your favorite Robert Redford movie?
Dude, I remember I went and saw. So the theater around here, for the longest time, on Saturday nights would show old movies for super cheap. Mm-hmm. You can go up there I don't know, midnight and see an old movie for next to nothing. And I remember seeing The Natural. And I thought that was a really good one.
Roy House, that was my pick, dude.
Yeah.
That fucking baseball into the lights, and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah. He's got the baseball bat.
Ended on a high note, hitting the ball into the lights.
Yeah,
it's one of the greatest endings of anything.
Yeah, so I'd have to say The Natural.
That was my pick as well. Yeah.
And then we'll round out September with Giorgio Armani, fashion designer. He passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into October, we have oh God, the jokes that came from this one. We had Jane Goodall, pioneering primatologist and conservationist whose chimpanzee research transformed understanding of animal behavior. And like I said, there were some jokes, but where this becomes,
what were the jokes? What were the jokes?
Didn't we have jokes going back and forth? I feel like.
Probably.
I was gonna say. I don't remember specific. I just remember thinking oh, this one was a thing. However, where this is even more of a thing for me, and where when I told some certain people in my life, oh, Jane Goodall died, they had to have me clarify, because remember how I told you about the neighbors that had a problem with my tree?
Oh, I'm well aware. Yes.
So there's the guy across the street. But the neighbor next door, the one who pass the note about the tree trimmer to like my parents and, blah, 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 and all this and everything.
Mm.
That lady's name is Jane Goodall.
Wow.
And so I had to clarify when I told some people Jane Goodall passed. They were like, the neighbor that like is upset about it. And I'm like, no, the monkey lady. So yeah.
Wait, Nick, you murdered your neighbor?
I did not. I want to note it for the record. My neighbor is alive and well and still pissy about my tree, I'm sure. So anyway, although she shouldn't be at this point, because at this point there's no leaves on it. All the leaves that fell off have blown away or been taken up or chopped up, or they're long gone. So it is what it is. But no, this is not my neighbor we're talking about. This is the monkey lady.
Ironically, she studied you as a primate.
Mm.
How about that? She studied your behaviors as a primate.
Dude, every time she comes over here, she scares the holy shit out of me. So I've encountered her 3 times now. The first time is after I moved in. I was sitting in my car, I was getting ready to leave. The car was turned on, and I was lighting a cigar. And next thing I know, I hear this on my window, and I jumped out of my skin, man. I mean, I flipped shit because she snuck up along the side of my car and like was catching me before I was leaving. So I jump, she jumps. I roll the window down. She hands me a cupcake and was like, I'm just saying hi and introducing myself and bringing you a cupcake to welcome you to the neighborhood and whatever. So, that was the first time. The second time, I'm in the garage. I have the garage door up. I'm sitting there in my chair. I've got my little table in front of me. I've got the iPad flipped open. I'm watching something on my iPad and I'm having a cigar. And next thing I know, I kind of just glance up from the iPad and there's somebody standing right in front of me. And needless to say, I flip shit. I mean, I jump out of my skin. And it's her again. She's like a ninja, man. She's so quiet. And so she came over to tell me about like how there was a coyote spotted in our neighborhood and all this shit and everything. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. This third time, this is earlier this year. This isn't that terribly long ago. I'm in my garage. I have the garage door up, but my car is pulled in. I'm sitting at the desk. I'm watching. I have the TV on. At this point, the TV was paused, but I was on the phone and I'm talking. And next thing I know, I hear like a noise. I do hear like a bump. And I turn to my left to look like down the garage. And I see a person in my garage coming around the front of my car, like towards my back. So needless to say, what do? I jump and scream again because I'm a jumpy I have a very, very, very heightened like fright. Like, I don't know. I fright easily, So
you're easily startled.
I'm jumpy. And so like I jump, she jumps, and I, get off the phone. And she was coming by just to ask me if the people who do my lawn also shovel driveways because she's looking ahead to figure out what she's going to do with the snow this winter. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you just stand at the edge of the garage and yell into the garage? Why do you have to like come in and sneak up behind me like this? But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Nick, it sounds like the wrong Jane Goodall died.
I'm not saying that for the record. I'm not saying that. But let's go ahead and move on. The next one from October was Ace Frehley, original Kiss lead guitarist and foundational influence on hard rock guitar and the band's early sound. Which one was he? Was he the star child?
I want to say he was the star guy. Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember when he wasn't the cat. Yeah. The one that had the cat. That was a different one. I don't know. I was never I'm not a big Kiss guy. I was. It was before my time. First of all, but I like Detroit Rock City. I mean, I do like that song.
Wow. I like New York Groove. Okay. I could be misremembering this, but I want to say I read something where he died like not penniless, but like poverty. Like he was in poverty.
Yeah.
Whereas like Gene Simmons is a multimillionaire.
Well, yeah,
So-
Gene Simmons made the money off of Kiss.
Mm.
What was the other one? It was Detroit Rock City. Calling Dr. Love. That's the other one I dug from them.
Yeah, they're.
Anyway.
I think they really capitalize merchandising and marketing.
Oh, 100%.
You could have Kiss anything. You know?
100%. All right. Also from October, we have June Lockhart, best known for her portrayals as Ruth Martin, the mom in the TV show Lassie, and Maureen Robinson, the mom on the TV show Lost in Space. She also appeared in movies such as 1944's Meet Me in St. Louis. So, June Lockhart.
Did that hit home close to you because you are a St. Louis boy, sort of?
No, I watched Lost in Space reruns as a kid.
Okay.
And Lassie, actually. So I knew her from both of those. But
Lassie was always a show that like these are the worst parents ever, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's like, oh,
yeah, no.
Lassie's watching your fucking kids.
Yeah, you have a fucking collie running around watching your kid,
Yeah.
and fucking Timmy is falling down every goddamn hole he can find. You know,
Yeah,
and
how many wells does somebody get stuck in?
And if it's not that, he's in a field and twists his ankle in the rows, and all of a sudden a combine's coming straight at him or something like that. I mean, it's always bad news for Timmy.
Yeah,
but yeah,
CPS. If this was today, CPS is up there like day one.
yeah, no, somebody's got some questions. All right, then moving on for the final one in October, we have Diane Keaton, actress best known for The Godfather, Father of the Bride, and First Wives Club. Keaton won an Academy Award for Best Actress in 1977's Annie Hall.
Yeah, I remember her specifically from Godfather. She was Kay, Michael Corleone's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the recent interview that Al Pacino gave, and he said one of the biggest regrets of his life, because I guess they had a romance outside of the movie.
Oh, really?
And he said the biggest regret of his life is not marrying Diane Keaton.
Huh. There you go. Well, November, there was only one that I found that was notable. The last 2 months of this year have been pretty light, but significant.
I disagree.
Okay.
There's one that's sticking out to me.
Well, no, I was gonna say light but significant.
Okay. Go ahead.
So November we had former Vice President Dick Cheney. He passed away at age 84, and that was the only one for November. But then in December, we'll go ahead. We'll start with Mick Abrahams. He was the English rock guitarist for Jethro Tull and Bloodwind Pig. But the big one, the one I'm sure you're thinking about, Rob Reiner, legendary actor and filmmaker behind This Is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, and a whole ton of others.
Yes.
And that story, much like the Gene Hackman one.
I was going to say, that's what made me think of it. It was Gene Hackman-esque. Just tragic,
It's tragic. It's all sorts of fucked up. And, if anything comes of that, it's that we really in this country need to review mental health protocols and how we're dealing with it, because I saw a really good thing with Harvey Weinstein, of all people, of TMZ, talking about
wait, hold on. Harvey Weinstein of TMZ. Do you mean Harvey Levin?
Levin, not Weinstein. You're right.
Okay.
Sorry. Totally different person. Yeah, Harvey Levin. You're right. Oh shit. No, Harvey Weinstein was on my mind because I was doing a little searching around earlier, trying to figure out like who I wanted to predict to die this year, and somebody else had predicted him for this year, and I was like, whatever. But I saw him, so no, you're right, Harvey Levin. And he was talking about how basically the problem is you have like a person who, let's say they're schizophrenic. Well, as a way to treat their schizophrenia and to like calm the voices and everything else and whatever else they got going on, they start getting into finding ways to self-medicate, be it through either legal drugs, prescription drugs, or illegal drugs. And then what ends up happening is that too far, and then they go to rehab where they're only treated for that. And then after that, they're put back out in society, but they still have the schizophrenia. They still have the underlying problem. Yeah. And so so then that leads to relapse after relapse after relapse after relapse. And at some point, it just gets to be too much. And he went on for quite a while, and it was really, really good. But the bottom line is, I think it's what it sounds like may have happened here with Nick Reiner.
Well, I mean, excuse my ignorance here, but like, don't they have medication that specifically targets schizophrenia and affects schizophrenia? I mean,
I truly don't know. I mean, it's not something, thankfully, I've ever had to worry about. But I would assume so, though.
I would assume so, right?
And you think. And you would think that a guy like Rob Reiner, who, by all accounts, it seemed like he tried very hard to help his son.
It's and here's the thing too. Like I kind of got in this excuse me. I got in this conversation recently, and it's like, I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know what Rob Reiner is like as a parent or whatever. But it seems like he did everything right as a parent. There's certain things, and he's got other kids that seem to turn out fine. It's just there's certain kids that unfortunately just are, I don't know, doomed, or there's just not much you can do. He seemed to do everything right, and this is, and it's just a truly tragic story. I mean, we started out the year with the tragic story of Gene Hackman, and it sounds like we ended with a equally tragic story, with the Rob Reiner thing. And it's just and I read some interviews. I don't know how true these are, but like it sounds like they were invited to a Christmas party that Conan O'Brien hosted, like
the night before or the day before.
So there's Rob Reiner, his wife, and the son here, and the son eventually got kicked out or asked to leave because he kept interrupting people and asking really weird, inappropriate questions.
And I think he got into it with Bill Hader or something like that.
Bill Hader, Bill Hader, So that's...
Yeah. So and apparently it got amped up enough to the point that some people were going to call 911, and Conan O'Brien kind of talked him out of that.
So I mean, that's an unfortunate kind of like, thing too. Like, these people at the party, what if we handle this different? Would this have changed? So it's just one of those tragic stories that just, it's a tough one.
Yeah. So that rounds out the year of who passed away. Now, with that being said, you and I both, not to make this morbid and say that we scored points, but
how did we do with Vegas odds?
We both had 2. I had Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Hackman. You had Gene Hackman and Robert Redford. So we actually both scored 2 this year, which is
and that entitles us to a free Blackbird cigar, I think.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. Okay. So I mean, that's where it was. So now I guess we can get into our predictions for 2026.
Okay.
So do you want to go
first?
You know
what? Because, well, you know what, Nick? I was thinking this is a cigar podcast.
Yes. So maybe we should talk about the cigars.
Let's talk about our cigars.
Okay.
What are you getting on the circle of life outside of picking a perfectly themed cigar? What are you getting on?
Flavor note wise, I haven't been paying attention. I will freely admit I'm right around halfway, maybe getting slightly past halfway. The draw on it's been great. Smoke production's been on it great. It's a nice medium body, maybe heavy, maybe medium, slightly medium plus. I did, unfortunately, even with a perfect cutter, because, why not? I did, unfortunately, crack the cap, and so I do have that kind of going on. I'm managing to still smoke it with that, but I'm afraid to take the band off, because I'm afraid that once I take the band off, this thing is going to unravel on me. But yeah, it's smoking wonderful, even with that going on. So I've been enjoying. I like the Circle of Life. It's a good cigar.
I was going to ask you. You had that before.
It's not one that I smoke like on the regular though. I still think that the black and the red are my favorites from them.
I was just about to ask you. I was about to put you in the spot to ask for your favorite West Tampa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, I am a huge fan. I also love the black and the red and the Circle of Life for that matter. But I am a huge. Whenever I can find them, I always check them out. The Addict series.
Yeah. Brinker is a big fan of the Devil Crab, and I have not had one of those yet.
I have not had that either. I'll be honest. Yeah, and I've heard good things.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest. I just the shape and the size.
Yeah,
kind of I haven't.
It's one of those really like kind of football-y figurado size, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right, yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
and I've heard good things. But yeah, I love the red. I love the black. I love the Addict series.
Yeah,
I love Circle Life. They're all quality cigars.
Yep. What about your Toscano?
If you haven't had Toscano,
you smoking a bonfire over there?
Yeah. You know what? Now I was actually thinking about that too. Ironically, hot take. I hate bonfires. I really do. I hate the smell. I hate the smell. I hate how it, sticks on your clothes. I hate how the smoke goes in your eyes. But
well, I'll tell you, man, I got one of those solo stoves, the smokeless solo stoves, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You don't reek when you get done with it. I'll say that.
I mean, that would be preferred. Yeah. A lot of people up in these parts in Wisconsin love bonfires in the fall. I just hate them.
Yeah.
But I do like, mezcal. If you ever had mezcal, it has that almost. It's a tequila that has the really. It essentially tastes like you're drinking a bonfire.
Real smoky component to it.
Yeah, a smoky component. I do like the taste of that, and I do like fire cured tobacco as you will have with Toscano, but I only like that. I use it this time of year just because it's so sturdy and doesn't require humidification. But every now and then I'll have a Toscano or anything with that fire cured tobacco, almost as like a palate cleanser to kind of like, and I'll sometimes do that too with what do you call it? Infused cigars too.
Yep.
I don't really like infused cigars, but every now and then, just as a to rinse out your palate. In other words, kind of reset it a little bit. I'll like a fire cured or I'll like an infused one. So yeah.
Yep.
If you like bonfire, if you like smoky things, I mean, you're not going to get much better than Toscano. So yeah. Flavor wise, that's what I'm getting. Bonfire, but it's holding a burn. It's smoking fine.
I mean, it looks like a stick, but it smokes well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always feel like Clint Eastwood.
There you go.
Which, a little foreshadowing there.
See, I didn't go for the low-hanging fruit there. I'll admit that. So, all right, let's get into our predictions then. So, okay, I have 10 plus a gimme, okay? So,
I did not count mine, but I would say I have around that.
So I'm going to say that the gimme, and I'm going to put it in the mutual category because I'm going to assume both of us had him on our list, is Dick Van Dyke, who just turned 100 years old.
As I like to call him, as the Cigar Authority likes to call him, Penis Von Lesbian.
Penis Von Lesbian? Yeah.
Yeah,
no, dude.
Yes.
Truthfully, I'm happy for the guy that he made 100 because right before his birthday, I was in Barnes & Noble and I saw the People magazine celebrating his 100th birthday. And I remembered that they did that for Betty White, and she barely missed her 100th birthday. And I was thinking, shit, People magazine did the curse of their cover for him. Mm-hmm. But he made it, and, whatever. So how much longer we got him? I don't know. But then again, Eva Marie Saint is still hanging on, and she's 101. Okay, all right. Why don't you go ahead then?
How do you want to do this? Do you want to go back and forth?
Yeah, we'll go back and forth. We'll go back and forth.
All right. Well, number one, which we already covered, I'll cross this off right here. Dick Van Dyke. For the listeners that don't know, fucking been around since Mary Poppins time. So he's been doing spoonful of sugars. He just had his 100th birthday.
Yeah.
He seems healthy. He's got a younger wife. I say she's in her 70s or something.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's 100. You know.
Well, yeah. Time catches up to us all at some point.
Yeah.
So
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah. So.
So that being said, I'm not going to count that one. So I'm going to go on my next down the list here, and I have Gary Busey.
Ooh, he is looking really rough lately.
Yeah, and I don't know his age offhand, but yeah, if you follow him on Instagram, the man does not look well.
No,
the man does not look well.
Now, in all fairness,
Gary
hasn't looked well for a while.
Yeah, that is fair. He really went downhill after Lethal Weapon. I think he got like a
motorcycle accident.
Yeah. So yeah, Gary Busey looks like shit. He's on my list.
Okay.
So,
all right. My first one is a repeat from last year. I'm going with Bill Cosby. I feel like Bill Cosby just, he every time you see him, he looks horrible. I mean, he got out of prison because he was like in bad shape, so like, I kind of feel like at some point, we're going to lose Bill Cosby and
he's upper 80s. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, some universal, he should be, I think 88 by now or something like that. I mean, some universal justice will be taken at that point.
Yeah. And we had prefaced this segment like, we don't wish ill on anybody. Nobody wants to die. But if somebody has to die, maybe Bill Cosby. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're a scumbag in real life, maybe just maybe you get what's coming to you. I don't know. I mean, whatever.
It's above our pay grade. It's above our pay grade.
Who am I to judge? But I'm not going to cry that many tears for Bill Cosby. And you know what the sad part is? The sad part is 20 years ago, or before all of that shit came out, I'd have been like, "Damn, that's a sad day." That was a blow. He was a a good dude, funny, and he did good things for his community, and blah 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 blah, and all that. And then came all the allegations, and then he's convicted of it. So I mean, it's like, okay.
Yeah, so. These aren't allegations anymore. And even if he wasn't found guilty, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people accuse you. Maybe they're just trying to get paid. What was he up to, like 60, 70 allegations?
There were a lot. There were a lot.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, Bill Cosby. And you know what? Like we were talking earlier about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Not to the same degree, of course, but like, Bill Cosby was a great comedian. If you were listening to some of his earlier albums, or the Cosby Show, he'd almost be the last person you would suspect of such a thing if you watch the old Cosby episodes.
Dude, I remember back in the day as a kid, I used to watch Bill Cosby's picture pages where he had the little marker and he would draw, and it was like a thing for kids, and he would draw and it would go do 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 when he was drawing with the magic marker and shit, and like. That was the thing. It's like he was one of those people, It's like you had LeVar Burton on Reading Rainbow. You had Bill Cosby doing the picture pages. I mean, he was like a kid thing. And Fat Albert and all that and everything. And now it's like, shit, So, So Bill Cosby's on my list.
I will say the Jell-O commercials are a little more fucked up after the allegations.
Dude, there's a couple of them. I mean, there's that one scene that floats around. It comes up on my Instagram feed every like 6 months or so from the Cosby Show, where he's talking about his secret barbecue sauce and how everybody's lovey-dovey after as soon as they have my barbecue sauce, everybody starts getting lovey, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's in your sauce there, Bill.
Yeah, but it did not age well.
It didn't. So. All right, so who's next on your list?
Speaking of not aging well, next up on my list, I have Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden, as you remember, was a president of the United States here. Mm-hmm. And almost as soon as he got out of the presidency, he somehow developed stage 4, was it prostate cancer?
Yeah.
So despite having the best access to all the medical things in the world, supposedly he never had cancer the whole time he was president, but now he has stage 4 prostate cancer.
Crazy.
And he's up there in age. So yes, Joe Biden on my list.
Yeah, and you're not really hearing much about that. So I would suspect at some point we're gonna just hear the quiet he's passed.
That's
yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking.
I'll give you that. I left him off the list because I figured you were coming around to him. But my next one is Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cross him off my list.
Okay,
too. I had him, and there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of these, and honestly, this is gonna be a sad one when he passes, man. I just watched Die Hard the other day.
Yeah,
and yeah, he's relatively young. I think he's 70, something like that.
I think he's right around there. But like, I mean, dude, it's just like whatever what does he have? Some sort of
well, it's a fun, I believe. So I think it started as, of course, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, but aphasia, something basically a cognitive thing where you're not able to speak anymore, and then I believe that developed into a form of dementia. So he's got a pretty severe dementia to where the point where I believe this past year he got moved into a care facility. So. And from what I understand, as horrible as it sounds, he's essentially nonverbal at this stage, I believe.
That sucks.
So that sounds like, late stage. So that's a solid pick, unfortunately.
All right. Well, what's your next one then?
I have this is a carryover from last year, and he's one of these people who, like, you say him, and your first reaction is going to be like, oh wait, I thought he was already dead. And that's Robert Duvall.
Yes, you're right. You did have him last year, and we said the same thing. It's like you just keep thinking that he's there, but he's still with us.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'll give you that one.
And at least with me, and I'm not sure if there's other people that have the same problem, and I don't know if it's because they were in some of the same films, but I used to get him confused with James Caan too. So I kind of blend them together as one.
Well, they were both in Godfather.
Yes, exactly. But Robert Duvall, I want to say he is mid-90s, and he hasn't done much in a long time.
Yeah.
So he's another one, like, great actor. Yeah, there'll be a sad one too.
So I've got another one that's a carryover from last year that I think both of us had was Mel Brooks.
Okay, go ahead and cross him off.
He's 99 at the. All right, so I'm going to shift him to the mutual category then. So yeah, I mean, he's 99. I mean, the sad part is Spaceballs 2 will be coming out next year, or 2027. So I mean, I'm hoping he can hang on for that, because otherwise it's going to make that really sad. But yeah,
and much like Dick Van Dyke, I will say that recent interviews he's had, he seems very with it. He seems very lively, as much as one could be at 100. And I think it's kind of goes to that point to where, like, if you're active, doing what you like, feel a sense of purpose, it kind of gives you a little longevity.
No, you're right.
So I think that's probably what's kept Dick Van Dyke and Mel Brooks.
Well, yeah, because Dick Van Dyke still has done stuff. I mean, I think I mentioned this when we talked about him last year. Is that that Marvel show WandaVision that kind of like spoofed some of the different eras of TV sitcoms? He was like a production assistant. He came in for the first episode, which was kind of based on the Dick Van Dyke show, and he taught them, how the camera worked, or the camera work took place, and the staging, and kind of this and that and whatever. He like kind of went over like how to replicate the Dick Van Dyke show for this Marvel show. So I mean, that would have been what, 97 or some shit like that, 96 that he was doing that. So I mean, yeah, he's still doing things. It's just not like a ton, but it's the same thing as him with Mel Brooks. Time marches on and claims us all. So I mean, at some point or another, it's a gimme bet. I guess that's what I'm saying. Is Mel Brooks and Dick Van Dyke are kind of the gimmies.
House money.
Yeah.
Vegas odds.
So, okay. All right. So what's your next one there?
This one, I don't think he's all that old. I think he's probably early 80s, maybe. If I didn't check, but he health wise. You've seen recent videos, and he recently, I believe, he announced his retirement. Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
He's basically had, I want to say, in the last year, like 2 mini strokes on camera.
Yeah.
Where he just like fucking checks out. I mean,
dude, the guy doesn't seem with it like at all.
he doesn't. He doesn't seem healthy.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
So
no, that's probably a safe bet. Yeah.
And he's always sounded like Foghorn Leghorn, so that's not an issue of his age. But he's just the strokes on camera that is.
Yeah, that's you don't like that. That's not good to see. No.
No. And again, like we were talking with Mel Brooks, and we were talking with Dick Van Dyke. Like I said, he just announced his retirement. He's not going for what do you call it, re-election next year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where he's not gonna. He doesn't feel like he has a purpose. He's not working. And that usually,
once you get
things.
sedimentary, that's it.
Yeah.
You know. All right. Well, my next one is Wayne Newton.
Oh, look at that! You know what? I'm gonna cross that off my list.
No
I
shit.
thought that was gonna be I'll tell you what.
Well.
We're gonna tie this together.
Okay.
So we went to was it January last January? We went to TPE together in Vegas.
January earlier this year. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Wayne Newton was performing at so you stayed at the Link, I stayed at the Flamingo. Okay. And Wayne Newton had a residency at the Flamingo while I was there.
Oh shit!
I kind of wanted to see. Schedules didn't align, but Wayne Newton was performing there. But I didn't get to see him, but I saw his posters and everything around.
He's 83 years old.
He's got to be older than that.
Nah,
you got
no,
that's not right.
I googled him. April 3rd, 1942. He's 83 years old.
I would have guessed early 90s, but either way, the man looks like he's made of wax.
Oh yeah,
he does not look. Yeah,
and
I didn't see.
I'm looking at pictures on Google. That is a lot of plastic surgery on that man.
Yeah, and I don't even think his residency, because if I remember correctly, it's not even like I think he's just. I don't think he's singing even. I think he's just like telling stories from because it was called like an evening with Wayne Newton or something.
Okay.
So I think he's just telling like stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks like he's made of straight up wax.
Well, so, I was gonna go. Here's the thing. My initial one that I had there, he was a last minute change. My initial thought was Barry Manilow, because he just came out with his lung cancer prescription.
It just happened.
But apparently the lung cancer diagnosis that he has a spot, they're treating it, blah, blah, blah. He's probably not going to be able to sing again, but, they think that they can take care of the lung cancer situation for him and give him a few more years. So I was like,
he's certainly not going to be able to go to the Copacabana.
No, unlikely. But it did get me into the mindset of thinking about some lounge singers, and and then in speaking with my dad, recommend I will give all the credit in the world. My dad's the one who was like, "What about Wayne Newton?" And I was like, "Oh shit,"
So he knows, yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, this is a last minute addition, but you kind of got me thinking. As long as we're on the topic of lounge singers, the last time I was in Vegas a couple of months ago, I stayed at the Orleans Hotel.
Okay.
And the residency there, as his final tour, was Engelbert Humperdinck.
Ooh, okay.
And he's another one. I thought he was dead already.
I kind of did too, to be honest.
Yeah. So I mean, that might be a bonus point, last minute addition.
All right. All right. We'll allow it.
We'll allow it. Yeah.
Okay. So I did Wayne Newton. All right.
Point.
So all right. So go next.
So this is a carryover from last year, but I just looked her up actually before we recorded.
Okay.
And she is currently not going to be, but as of this recording, 101 years old.
I know who you're talking about.
And this is Eva Marie Saint.
Yep.
Now, not only is she like, if that doesn't like scream like death, or oldness, that she's 101.
Yeah.
If you think back, what I know Eva Marie Saint from is fucking On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando, which seems like a billion years ago.
It's an old movie. Yeah.
So the fact that she's still alive, God bless her. But I mean, I don't know. 101 is 101.
Yeah, no. Again, it's the same category as Dick Van Dyke, Mel Brooks. Time marches on, claims is all. At some point, Eva Marie Saint's going down, so it's a safe bet to go ahead and call her out this year.
Yep.
So
yeah.
So my next one is one of my wild cards. It's not that I have any thought whatsoever as to why he would pass away, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to put him on my list just as a thing to see, just to say. Let's see what happens. Bob Dylan.
Okay.
Bob Dylan.
I mean, he's got to be up there.
Yeah, I mean, he's oh yeah, I mean, shit, here. I think I did look him up, but he is 84 years old.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not like this is like a long shot or anything like that, but
it's a little bit of a flyer, yeah.
I like I said, I don't have any knowledge. It's not like anything has come out that I'm aware of any sort of health issues or anything like that. It's just one of those things that I was talking to Trey Mack the other day, and we were talking about Bob Dylan, and it just kind of popped to mind. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to add Bob Dylan to my list. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think they just I haven't seen it. I think didn't they just recently do a Bob Dylan movie?
Oh, did they? You're right.
Yeah, I mean, not that it has anything to do with if he's going to live or die.
No. Hang on.
I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I think the actor that played him is a dude from.
It was called A Complete Unknown, starring Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah. Dude, wasn't he in Wonka?
Something like that.
Oh, something. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Are you a Bob Dylan fan?
I mean, let's put it this way. I think I'm a better singer than Bob Dylan.
I can't stand Bob Dylan.
I think he's a good songwriter. But his actual singing is very bad.
His
songwriting is really good.
He's rough.
Yeah.
It's
you know what?
You
see if you can appreciate this. I basically couldn't reference this to anybody else for them to get it. But my Bob Dylan song, what I think of when I hear a Bob Dylan song, and this is so obscure, but only you can appreciate this. When they find out the death of Jackie Aprile Jr.
Yeah.
So his mom, I can't think of his name of his mom right now, but Ralph Cifaretto, who orchestrated
his mom.
Yeah, I could picture.
I know. I can see her in my mind, and it's like trying to think of Carmela talking about how they were going to Paris or whatever together.
Yeah.
Shit, no, I can't remember. Anyway.
Anyway, so Ralph Cifaretto, who orchestrated the hit, spoiler alert, if anybody hasn't seen this round, that came out 25 years ago, but see, he breaks the news to her, and then they're mourning Jackie Aprile Jr.'s death, and Return to Me by Bob Dylan plays during this whole montage.
Yeah.
So that's what I think of when I think of Bob Dylan, is his version of Return to Me, which actually, I mean, it's a very different version than the Dean Martin version, but it was almost so bad it was good. And then I tie it in with this thing.
Yeah. So, dude, let's talk about so bad. So the reason Bob Dylan came up, as I was talking to Trey Mack the other day, is I happen to know that Trey Mack's a big fan of the Macho Man Randy Savage. And I stumbled across a recording of the Macho Man Randy Savage singing "Do You Hear What I Hear?" And I thought it was amusing. So I sent him the YouTube link. He responds back saying, okay, that's funny as fuck, but it reminds me of my favorite Christmas album of all time because it's a lot like this. It's supposed to be a great album. And it was Bob Dylan's Christmas album and Bob Dylan's version of Do You Hear What I Hear? And it is just horrible. Absolutely horrible. And
I can picture it.
So then we started, we're on the phone and we're talking about it. And I'm just like, I can't stand Bob Dylan. And he goes, this is why we're friends. And it's like, yes, it's like, yeah.
I think my take is probably most people's take. Like, he's not a good singer, but his songwriting is really good.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty diplomatic, I would say.
Yeah. I think that's a diplomatic way of putting it. So, all right. Who's your next one?
All right, so kind of the same theme as my last one. Even Saint, I have Rosemary Harris, which again is another carryover from last year. For those of you who don't know, she played Aunt May in the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in 2002.
Yeah.
And she was old as piss. She was old as piss then.
She was old as piss then.
So I want to say she's like 97, 98. So
I am amused.
I
am amused at the sliding age scale for Aunt May in the movies. So you had Rosemary Harris in the Tobey Maguires. Then you had Sally Field in the Andrew Garfield. And then you end up with oh shit, now I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Yeah, straight was it not what
she was from My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, fuck God. Oh,
son of a bitch.
My tongue.
Why am I doing this now?
Tip my tongue.
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei
playing her in the newer Spider-Man movies. So it's like as the Spider-Man actor changes, Aunt May gets younger and hotter. You know.
Yeah. So in the next,
which I wouldn't necessarily qualify Sally Field as hot, but in comparison to Rosemary Harris,
yeah,
you know.
So based on this scale, the next Spider-Man is going to feature Sydney Sweeney as Aunt May.
There you go.
Yeah. So Rosemary Harris, I want to say she's 97, 98.
Yeah.
Going back to that same thing we had, it's just I don't think she's unhealthy, but again, a flu can knock you out at 98.
You are going for the points this year, aren't you?
I play to win.
You're plucking the low hanging fruit. I'm taking a few flyers. My next one may not be a bit of a flyer. My next one, truthfully, it seems like the man is doing every single thing possible to end himself. And it's just getting worse. In fact, there was some news that just dropped literally today, in that I've been seeing things about him. Ric Flair, professional wrestler, Ric Flair.
Yeah, he was my next one, so I'm gonna go ahead and cross him off. The man, you know what? All you need to know about Ric Flair, and I think we talked about this last time, is he is a resident of Tampa, Florida.
Yep.
My apologies to Eric and Bobby Newman, but he has been kicked out of like 5 Tampa bars for literally shitting himself at the bar.
Right.
So I mean, and he's in his 80s, and he's had liver and kidney problems.
He's a fucking mess. And
he's hot mess.
This brings me up to today's news, which is apparently he's been on Cameo. Which, for those of you who don't know, Cameo is the site where you can pay an actor a certain amount of money that they ask for, and you give them notes, and they record like special messages. So maybe you want to buy your loved one a message from an actor or actress that they really like. You go on Cameo, you find them, you pay them X amount, you tell them, hey, I want a message to this person, and I want you to touch on these topics. And that kind of thing. And they record like a, short little video that then that Cameo sends to you that you can send to your loved one. And they're like, oh my God, they know my name, and all that, right? So 2 reviews, one from November 26th of this year and one from April 29th of this year have come out. We'll start with the one from April because that's the further out one. This person says about Ric Flair, after spending nearly $1,000 to have someone my brother admired enough to have tattooed on him, wish him luck on his wedding, I would have expected Rick to at least browse through the notes ahead of time and not read it word for the first time, and most definitely not tell him he's making a mistake and to remain single because he was so fucked up he could barely speak right. What would have been a great gift ended up being the quote, the worst gift he's ever been gifted. Unbelievable. 1 star.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah, right?
Okay, hold on. It don't take no $1,000 for Cameo. We're talking like $50.
Not for Ric Flair. Ric Flair's expensive, apparently. But apparently
that can't be right.
Apparently he did drop his price because on November 26th, a gentleman gave another 1-star review that says, yo, I paid $600 for Rick to sit in a restaurant, blast it out of his mind, and say my dad's name wrong. I paid him to say Merry Christmas to my father, Buff. I guess his father's name is Buff. But he called him Barf and just read the instructions word for word. I'm super disappointed I spent money on this, and I would have gotten someone who actually puts the effort in for $600 to a regular person. That's a lot of money. I'm not going to give a Christmas video to my father with his hero calling him Barf.
So, okay, I'm thinking this isn't like cameo adjacent. I think maybe there's an option of cameo where you can have them appear in person. Because that's what this is. These sound like in-person things, which would explain the higher price tag. But
no, dude. I mean, you can.
Nobody costs $1,000
right.
a cameo.
Bullshit. Hang on. I'm going to Cameo right
Yeah,
now.
look,
I'm gonna go to Cameo.
I'm gonna go
to Cameo right now, and we're gonna look
in person.
So first of all, we're gonna go Ric Flair. I'm on Cameo right now, and the price to get a video from Cameo from Ric Flair, all it lists is $500 plus.
Shit.
So it is $500 on up to get a personalized video from Ric Flair.
Fucking inflation. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that review I just read about the dude's dad, that was the most latest review. Here's one from September 4th. It's says 3 stars. It says, can't say it's the message we sent over, but he was trying to read it while he was in the car, whatever that means. So,
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. A cameo is essentially like you're leaving somebody a voicemail, right?
Basically. I mean,
so how is that $1,000?
Apparently, Rick is charging that much.
I mean, God bless you if you can get it, I guess.
April 23rd of this year, Rick was visibly drunk and put no effort into the video. He just read the bullet points I sent in word for word. He was halfway out of the frame for most of it as well. Very disappointing.
Well, I tell you what, Nick, I think you have a new option for a sponsor. I think if you hire Ric Flair, he can introduce a new segment.
I mean,
or your intro. If you need a theme song, I think I have the guy for you.
There you go. Let me see. All right, find a celebrity. I want to see if there's a way to. There's got to be a way to view all. Okay, view all. Sort by price, high to low. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to sort by price, high to low. So the most expensive one on here,
Donald Trump,
is a pro wrestler named Tama Tonga. I don't even know who this guy is. Tama Tonga.
How is he the most expensive? How is he the most expensive person?
Dude, he's asking $10,000.
That is insane. What the fuck?
And there's 9 videos left at that price.
I think Jerry Pulaski needs to start a cameo.
Dude.
Jesus Christ.
Franz
20 bucks.
Franz Wagner, he's an NBA player for the Orlando Magic. He's charging $3,000 on up.
I was way I apologize, Nick. I would have guessed like $50.
How much do you think Jean-Claude Van Damme is charging?
Well, based on this, and you're going highest to lowest, so I'm gonna go $2,000.
$2,800.
No, see, I apologize. I would have guessed $50 going right for cameo.
Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, he's $1,500. Okay. I don't even know if you're familiar with this. The McFarlanes. So have you seen the reels where it's like, the dad that's in like the dad clothes and he's got his kids and like, they might be at a restaurant and the dad like orders and he's in his New Balances and he's all like, I'll take blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And it's like, that
yes.
like,
yes, I have familiar. Yeah.
$2,000 to get the McFarlanes to do it.
That is crazy, dude.
Steve Wozniak, Apple co-founder, $1,400. Okay. Here's one. I don't need, this is so random. You know the meme where like if you like do a sick burn on somebody and it shows like the one black kid and he's kind of leaning back and his buddy like comes in the frame and he's like, oh, that?
Yeah.
That group, $1,000.
You know what, Nick? I thought the celebrity death was the most depressing thing. This is the most depressing thing.
No,
right
this
here.
is fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes, $1,000.
Okay.
Andrew Dice Clay, $1,000.
Let's lighten the mood and talk about celebrities dying.
Holy shit, man! We're going down a rabbit hole here. Actually, this is nutty. I mean, there's a lot of people, I don't even know who they are, and they're charging like $1,000 for a video. And that just makes me sad just in and of itself. But like, I'm going to finish scrolling this page and then I'm moving on here. Cause like I'm just trying to see if there's somebody here I recognize. I don't even recognize any of these people. Yeah.
Like, it's the other end that is really depressing to me. Not the fact that these celebrities are getting, well, quote unquote celebrities are getting what they are asking, that somebody's paying these prices.
Tom Felton, the guy who played the shitty little blonde kid in the Harry Potter movies, the Slytherin kid in the Harry Potter movies, he's charging $1,000. I mean, he at least has the Harry Potter thing behind, giving him some juice, I mean, all these other people, like, who the hell are, these have to be like internet meme people and shit. I don't know who the hell any of these people are, but they're all charging a shit ton of money. And, I mean, Fran Drescher, the nanny, she's $950. $950. She can say hi to you for Christmas. Bryce Harper, $900.
That's crazy.
Golly, I'm sorry. I've gone down a rabbit hole. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've totally derailed the death thing here with this. Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer, Dallas Cowboys, $725. Yeah. All right, I gotta get off this, otherwise I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole even more. Anyway, so Ric Flair was my pick. We kind of talked about that. So anyway,
yeah,
your turn.
Okay. Oh, let's see where am I? So we both had Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Next one on my list. Back to the lounge singer thing, and I would have fucking put money that he would have died last year, right after Jimmy Carter.
But
there's no way.
I know exactly who you're going to.
Yeah.
And
no way he's making it.
I thought about putting him on, but I was like, nah, no, he'll do it. And
Frankie Valli. Yeah,
the guy was a zombie last year.
If any of the listeners wants to check out Frankie Valli recent videos, the man looks like a straight up corpse.
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, he looks like he came right out of the coffin. He's pretty like bummed. He has lived all of his 4 seasons. That's my drift there.
100%. Yeah. No, that I feel like that's a gimme. But then again, I thought it was a gimme last year, so we'll see. So my
borrowed time.
So my next one is James Vanderbeek. I don't know if you've seen him lately. He was what?
Is he young? He's young, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's got colorectal cancer and he is not well. Okay. That's why he was Dawson's Creek, I think, was like the show he was on, and he's not well. He's not well at all. So, but yeah, he's fairly young.
Okay.
It sucks, you don't want somebody young, but then again, can't pick that. So anyway, all right. So what's your next one?
All right, the last one on my list here.
Okay, I have 2 more.
We touched on this a little bit earlier, but back to the whole Dick Van Dyke, Mel Brooks thing. Just you're older and you stop working. It's kind of a death sentence.
Yeah.
I have Clint Eastwood. I believe he last year or the year before directed his final film, so he's not working anymore.
Okay.
He's 95, and I mean, do the math, I guess.
Yeah. No, I'll give you that.
He's good, bad, and ugly at this point.
No, I think that's
as I smoke a Toscano.
There you go. I think that's a safe bet. So I have 2 more, and one of them is an actual pick. The other one is more of a shout out to Trey Mack, and I actually have some logic behind that one. So I'll do the actual one. So the next one was also one that my dad suggested and I agreed with, which was actress Faye Dunaway, 84 years old. She's been in Bonnie and Clyde, Chinatown, a whole bunch of stuff. But she's been diagnosed with bipolar. Not that really should be impacting much, but she definitely she's older. You don't really see or hear much out of her. It's a bit of a long shot, but you never know. I mean, some of these people you just don't see coming. So, and then my last one, it's another young guy, but this guy, let me tell you, he's had a lot of bad shit happen to him in the last. Well, definitely last year, in the last couple of years for sure. And truthfully, he's riding really, really hard to where at some point, when you run this hard and this fast, at some point you hit the wall, and that's that. Zachary Ty Bryan, the oldest son from Home Improvement.
Shout out to Trey Mac. Yeah,
Shout out to Trey Mac there. And that's a fucked situation there, man. I mean, like, last I saw, he was arrested again, for violating like a restraining order against something. And like, he's all kinds of all over the place. But no, that dude.
Home improvement, more like life improvement.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a whole messed up thing. So at some point, I wouldn't be surprised to see Zachary Ty Bryan, on the list. So
yeah, not of a natural thing, but more.
No,
like
that's gonna be he drank himself to death. He had a DUI that resulted in him hitting a wall or, God forbid, another car or OD. Or there's it's gonna go badly for him.
Reaches for the cop's gun.
Right, something's gonna go bad for him. So it's kind of like, yeah, okay, we'll just.
That's a flyer, but yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that happened either.
Yeah. So, all right. So we have a fairly comprehensive list. We have our predictions out there. So, for those of you listening, who did we miss? Call the hotline, area code 863-874-0000. Let us know who you think we missed, and who should have been on our list, and we'll see. We'll do like we did last year or this year, last year. I don't know when, but we'll do like a mid-year check-in to see where we're at, and then we'll circle back again at the end of the year to see how we did. So,
and again, just to further drive the point home, we don't want anybody to die.
No.
And I'm sure there's probably an obvious one too we're missing. And just as we say this, I'm gonna throw this out. Yeah, just as I say this, I'm gonna throw this out there. Give me a Bill Clinton. How about that?
I mean, I don't know.
He's up there. This whole Epstein thing.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
Married to Hillary.
Oh my God. All right, let's because I know we have some stuff for this too. Let's move on.
We certainly do. Yeah.
Do this now. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. Brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. And speaking of cigars, I am finished with my West Tampa Circle of Life. It was a wonderful cigar, and I'm sad to see it go. And unfortunately, as I sit here, I don't have anything else available, so I'm just going to be smokeless for the rest of the show. But how's your Toscano?
It was good, and I generally will keep a sleeve in the glove box, so I'm already on my second one.
There you go.
I'll smoke. I'll smoke for both of us here.
All right. Well, in terms of what I've been watching lately, I have taken the time to sit down and put together a list of things that I want to burn through during Christmas break. I have only kind of just had an opportunity to kind of scratch the surface of that. I've been working my way through Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner on Paramount. I did finish season 3. I'm in season 4 now. I think I've got 3 episodes that are available left to go. I think there's maybe one more still to come. This most recent season has been pretty good. the cartel, the Mexican cartel, has come to Kingstown to kind of, work some of the there's a power vacuum because the Russians, basically their storyline ended at the end of season 3. And so the cartel has come in to kind of, take over that space. But what's been neat is, there's a new warden at the prison, and it's, played by, Edie Falco. So, so she's been in it, and she's been pretty good. So anyway, so I've been digging that. That's another one of those Taylor Sheridan shows,
Okay.
And, I think I was talking to, who was I talking? I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but recently, but they all kind of, are the same. I mean, he kind of kickstarted with Yellowstone, but, like Tulsa King and Mayor of Kingstown, they all kind of have that same fingerprint at this point. So, you can kind of tell a Taylor Sheridan show, and this is one, but I dig it. I'm enjoying it. So anyway,
what do you want to just? Why don't you just go through all you have?
That's all I had. That's true.
That's all you have.
That is
Okay.
truly all I have. Yeah.
All right. Well, I will fill in the slack here. I got 3 things I want to highlight here.
All right.
All right. So first off, I won't go into too much detail just because it's fresh, and I don't want to give away any spoilers. And I know you're not really big into this genre anyway, but Welcome to Derry just had its season finale a week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Welcome to Derry is on HBO Max. It's a prequel to it. And generally, I'm kind of opposed to stuff like this. In other words, I don't like, not to spoil anything, but I don't like when shows or movies take kind of liberties from the book.
Kind of expand the story that was already there.
Yeah. So this one is kind of a rare exception. I can't think of any other comparable facsimiles, but they honored the story very well. But the areas that they didn't touch in the book, they just kind of fill in the blanks. And they do it very well, and they tie everything together. So if you're into if you're into the horror, I can't recommend Welcome to Derry enough. They just finished season 1. They signed on for 3 seasons, and it's creepy. It's a great show if you're into that.
And the Skarsgård guy came back to play Pennywise, correct?
Yes.
That's nice. At least you have some continuity between the show and the movies then too.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so he gave interviews too, and he was reluctant to do it. And the only reason he agreed to do it was he said he liked, because again, not to spoil anything, but the way the show was evolving, they were going to go more to the evolution of that particular character, and so he liked that new layer of element.
Okay.
I mean, that's what he said. That's what he says anyway. But I think another motivation was probably the millions of dollars.
Yeah, payday.
But,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very good. I can't recommend enough if you're into that sort of thing.
I did see It Chapter 1. I did not end up seeing. I still haven't seen It Chapter 2.
Okay.
It's on my list. It's actually on my list of things for this winter, because I've heard really good things about Welcome to Derry, and it's one of those so.
Actually, this could not be the most perfectly timed thing, Nick, because quickly, It Chapter 2 is the adults, okay?
Yes.
And one of the kids, or one of the adults, of course I can't think of his name right now, but
he just passed away.
He just passed away like last week.
Yeah.
I can't think of the actor's name, but he was young. I want to say he was like 60 or something. But he was in other things too. I just know him from It Chapter 2. But yeah, so I mean, you're of the same age, so you'll be able to appreciate this. Back when I was a kid, every year Stephen King would release a movie on ABC.
James Ranson.
There you go.
James Ranson. And he was actually only 46.
Oh, okay. Even sadder.
Yeah.
Even more tragic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I want to say he was on The Wire, but I never.
Yeah, he was on The Wire, and it was suicide, unfortunately.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway,
and ironically, spoiler alert: his character in It Chapter 2 also commit suicide.
Okay. All right. Well,
That's dark. But yeah, anyway, so when we were kids, Stephen King would release a miniseries on ABC every year. And it was the same time every year. And they did.
Yep.
They did The Stand. They did Langoliers. They did.
I liked Langoliers up
they
until the end.
Yeah, they did Storm of the Century. They did all this one. But one of the first ones they ever did was It, back with Tim Curry.
Yep.
And it came out in 1990. So I was 6 years old when I watched this, and that was way too young to be watching that.
Too young to be watching that.
And so that was like one of the first movies, shows I ever remember. And it's not like I wanted to watch it. It was like my dad was watching it, and I happened to be in the room. And it was one of the first movies that actually creeped me out.
Yep.
So I was like legit scared from that movie. Naturally, I was 6. But I read the book when I was in middle school. And if you're familiar with the book, way too young to be reading that in middle school.
Yeah.
And then I read it again as an adult. But yeah, so they had the original It miniseries with Tim Curry. Then they redid it with the It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. Now, the original miniseries kind of went back and forth, just like the book, where they were kids and adults. The newer movies broke it into the first volume in Chapter 1. They were kids. The second one, they were adults. And the guy that made those 2 movies, of course, I can't think of his name now, but he's also the guy behind Welcome to Derry. So he's able to tie these movies and the book and everything together, and some other, again, don't want to spoil anything, some other Stephen King works together, and it's just very well done. It's very captivating. It's very creepy. It's very eerie. So if you're into that genre, I can't recommend Welcome to Derry enough.
All right.
The second thing I watched too is, I believe it is on Apple TV, and it's a 5-part series. I just finished episode 3, so I have 2 left.
Okay.
But it's called Mr. Scorsese.
Okay.
And it's obviously a documentary on Martin Scorsese. So basically, every one of his films are covered. And if any of your listeners are familiar with me, they know my dying love for Robert De Niro. So
that's kind of right up your alley.
Yeah, right in my alley. So that's covered in depth in all his movies. And they go, if you're a fan of filmmaking, or Scorsese or De Niro or DiCaprio or any of those things, it's really well done. It's a great documentary. It's 5 parts. It's on Apple TV.
Okay,
so that's a good one. And then the final thing, which we kind of alluded to earlier, is best for last. So the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight a week or 2 ago. So if anybody has ever heard it, we've done kind of podcasts about this in the past too. But my absolute hatred for Jake Paul.
Yes.
Well,
and also, we've talked about this on the past too. But like, you love boxing. You've been a boxer. Yes. You love boxing. Sure. You watch boxing. So like, it's a legit like love and interest that you have in the sport.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where my hatred for Jake Paul stems from. So basically, I had never heard of Jake or his brother Logan Paul ever. I never heard of him. I'm essentially like a fucking old man, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything fucking technology to whatever.
Yeah.
So I never heard of Jake Paul.
They were just YouTube stars, and I use stars in quotes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I never knew this. So he enters boxing, and so apparently I find out he's a YouTube star, whatever. So my beef with Jake Paul basically stems from, so he's a fighter, quote unquote, but he is, I want to say his record is like 13. Well, up until last night, like 13-2 or something. Okay. But if you look deeper at that record, he has fought, I think, 3 boxers up until last week.
Okay.
And he lost to one of them. So in other words, he's building his record on old MMA fighters, fucking basketball players, other YouTubers, fucking 58-year-old Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And I mean, whatever, you do you, whatever. But my beef stems from the fact that, and back in the day when I was a fighter, I was an amateur fighter, and I would headline what's called pro-am shows. So in other words, I would headline the undercard portion of the show. So I would be the head amateur fighter, and then it would switch to the pros, and then, you know, there'd be a head pro fighter or whatever. So I got to know a lot of the pro boxers, and I got to train with a lot of pro boxers and stuff. And so there's fighters that were literally making, I got to know, $100 a round, you know?
Yeah.
So they'd be making $500, okay? I've known guys that fought on ESPN Friday Night Fights, you know, that were so hard up for money that they had to get a full-time job at, you know, a distribution center to make ends meet, raise a family. So then you have this guy who basically makes fun of, for what I found out, makes fun of people killing themselves in Suicide Forest and fucking Japan, and he's getting millions of dollars to fight a basketball player with, you know, he has no talent, whereas these other people are struggling blue collar wise, like, you know, having to work a full-time job and then get done with work and train and raise a family. And this guy is making millions of dollars and just making a mockery of the sport or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he finally fought a boxer years ago and lost, but it was, I guess, relatively competitive. So he thought he still had a chance or whatever. And then he continued making more and more money and just being a fucking douchebag. And to where the point where I think he got paid something like $50 million against a fucking senior citizen, Mike Tyson, who had no chance.
He made bank in that fight. Yeah.
Yeah. A guy who was 58 years old, who spent the previous, you know, years fucking smoking weed and doing mushrooms all day, who never had a chance in that fight.
Yeah.
And so now he thinks, you know, he's surrounding himself with yes men and other fucking YouTube douchebags who live in this fucking reality, this false reality, who they think he can, you know, well, I can call out anybody. So he calls out Anthony Joshua, who is an Olympic gold medalist, 2-time heavyweight champion, and probably currently certainly a top 10 heavyweight.
Who I'm pretty sure weighed in like 30 pounds more than him?
Yeah, so heavyweights, the way in pro boxing weight divisions go, heavyweights are there's 17 weight classes. Heavyweight is the heaviest, and it's basically, there is no restriction. So essentially, if you're 200 pounds or above, you could be, so in other words, a 201 pound fighter can fight a 301 pound fighter. There's no regulation. It's just kind of open season. They didn't make in the contract that Anthony Joshua had to get down to 245, which wasn't, I mean, I think his career highest was something like 255, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But Jake Paul is basically my problem with society now, is just this fucking video game mentality where you basically live in this fucking alternate reality where because you surround yourself with yes men and this alternate form of reality, you're the fucking baddest man on the planet, and you're not used to, you know, you're not used to getting your comeuppance. In other words, you're this entitled, spoiled generation. And so he finally calls on Anthony Joshua, and I legitimately think he thought he had a chance. And granted, Anthony Joshua was probably on the downslide. He was coming off of 15 months out of the ring. He came off of a knockout loss, etc. But he's still, like I said, a top 10, maybe arguably a top 5 heavyweight.
Yep.
Former 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist. So as soon as this fight was announced, I was like, well, I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does happen, Anthony Joshua is knocking him out in the first or second round. The first solid punch he lands, that's the fight. What I did not account for, and a little backpedaling here, is 2 fights previous. There was a big, around that time, a couple of years ago, there was a big pull about MMA fighters doing a crossover, because in the MMA and the UFC, it's almost like a monopoly. So Dana White caps his fighters. So there's no real earnings in UFC compared to boxing. In other words, like McGregor's biggest payday is when he came over to boxing, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So, so a couple of years ago, there was a guy by the name of Francis Ngannou, this big, like 260-pound heavyweight, came over to boxing, and Anthony Joshua knocked him out in the second round. Just this devastating thing. And so I thought it was going to be kind of a similar fight. What I did not account for is that Jake Paul. Have you watched the fight, Nick? I guess I should ask.
I've seen clips. I have not actually watched the fight in full.
Okay, so basically, from literally the start of the first bell, Jake Paul is literally like fucking Usain Bolt. He's running around the ring.
Yeah,
and I did not account for this. I gave him too much credit to think that he would actually try to fight
stand
Jake Paul,
and fight,
or at least or try to fight Anthony Joshua, or at least try to win. At no point in this fight did he ever try to win. So he is essentially running around the ring for 3 or 4 rounds. Well, eventually he gets tired from running around the ring. And honestly, Anthony Joshua did not look too good either. And I think a lot of that was ring rust, being out of the ring for 15 months or so. But so anyway, if nobody's saw it, Jake Paul runs around the ring for 3 or 4 rounds. Anytime Anthony Joshua breaks the distance, gets in close, Jake Paul would try to like take him down or clinch.
Yeah, it was like falling and like trying to like grab at him and shit.
Yeah, so he would literally be overpowered and fall to the ground, to the point where, like, I believe, not including the knockdowns, which happened in like the 5th round, but just total time, Jake Paul was on the canvas from these like takedowns. It was something like 12 or 14 times. It was just a horrible watch. He was just very cowardice.
And the referee even pulled them together and said, like, hey, these people didn't pay for this crap. Like, fight, you know?
Yeah. So essentially the ref started being like, all right, we're not going to do it. I'm going to start counting these as knockdowns, which you should have. Because anytime Anthony Joshua got close, fucking Jake Paul would throw himself to the ground. Honestly, it was like if you ever had like an older brother or something, and they just kind of like, you know, let's say you're 10 years old and your brother's 16, and you just try to fight him, and he just kind of puts his hand down and he pushes you down. That's what it was, right?
Okay.
So like 3 or 4 rounds of that. Well, so Jake Paul's running on the ring for like 4 rounds. Eventually he gets tired, okay? And so he can't run around the ring anymore, and essentially Joshua catches up to him and actually is able to start landing punches. And at that point, round 4 or 5, anytime Anthony Joshua lands a punch, Jake Paul goes down from legitimate knockdown, ultimately ending in the 6th round where he throws a soft jab to the stomach and then a right hand to Jake Paul's jaw, breaking his jaw in 2 places and knocking out 2 of his teeth. Well,
it's a pretty good. I've seen the still photo. I've seen the video, but I've seen the still photo where like Paul's jaw is just like not in the place that it should be, and it's just amazing.
And a lot of that too is just inexperience. So like, there's a card like this is like first couple of fights you've ever had, like thing. You never had when you're in punching range, you never have your mouth open, right?
Yeah.
You bite down in your mouth guard just for that. If your jaw is so much easier to be broke if it's open. Well, Jake Paul being so inexperienced as a fighter, like Jake Paul never put on a pair of boxing gloves till he was like 25 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most fighters started like 8 years old, right? So there was the inexperience factor, him not knowing what to do under that circumstance, and also just fatigue. If you get really tired, you start breathing through your mouth and wherever. So his mouth was open when Anthony Joshua lands that right hand, and his jaw is broke 2 places. If you saw the photos, his teeth are busted.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be out of the ring for a year at least. I hope this like humbles him enough to like never try and just I never had to see this faggot again.
See, I'll tell you, I actually saw an article. And dude, with the internet these days, you never know what's true and what's not. But they were talking about how it's unlikely that Paul actually ever box again because I guess he's got some plates or something they're gonna have to put in to like fix his jaw, and how like basically
he got fucked up for sure.
It's pretty much like unlikely he's gonna box again because like nobody comes back to a serious level that's ever had these plates put in or something. I don't know.
You know, at the very least, it's gonna take a lot of time off for healing to occur, and there's probably going to be some plastic surgery required. So hopefully he goes on to his next fucking whatever thing that might be, and just.
I've heard that he's making noise that he might join his brother Logan Paul over at the WWE.
Yeah, and I don't follow wrestling anymore, but I heard Logan Paul is good in wrestling. So I mean, there's that. I mean, I don't honestly
really follow WWE, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I don't like blame Anthony Joshua as like the easiest fucking $50 million anybody's ever made, but yeah, it was a fucking shit show. It was on Netflix. I mean, it got a lot of casual fans interested. Like I watched it with my wife, and she was interested. And a lot of people are, because the way the world is and how social media is, like people just hear Jake Paul and they think he's like a legit fighter, and so like they get like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was satisfying and expected at the same time, I guess.
Okay. Well, there you go. No, I don't know. I knew you'd have some thoughts on that because I know.
Yeah, I did.
I know you're not a fan. No,
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. Speaking of the John Hamm meme, that's how I felt watching that fucking right hand of Joshua. Man.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, let's move on and do this now. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars can't clip our wings. So, in the early 1900s, the U.S. Treasury Department employed official cigar testers whose job was to smoke imported cigars to determine their country of origin. Why? Tariffs. Different countries were taxed at different rates, and cigar makers were notorious for mislabeling boxes to avoid higher duties. These testers were trained to identify origin by taste, aroma, burn, and construction long before modern testing. Their opinions could trigger seizures of entire shipments, reclassify imports and raise tariffs, bankrupt small importers overnight. There were no lab tests, no paperwork disputes, just a government employee saying, "That's not Havana, that's Ybor City." So if you really know your tobacco, you could get a job you could have gotten a job smoking cigars. And in case that job ever comes back, practice with a Blackbird cigar and don't let anybody clip your wings. Wouldn't that be a sweet gig? Be a government employee and your whole job is just to smoke cigars all day?
Yeah, dude, I'm going to go back in time and kick my guidance counselor's ass. That's like the greatest job ever.
Just saying. Like, that's one you don't hear about often. So, I don't know. I mean, I think we need to bring that back. I think we need to get the Treasury Department to bring that back. We can make a strong case.
I'll make some phone calls.
There you go. So, well, I am on the socials. It's time to hit the socials. I'm on the socials on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. I'm on Twitter /X, and you can also watch the show on Rumble and YouTube. I do need your calls for the Ask the Pulpit hotline. You can give that a call at area code 863-874-0000. And the other thing is head on over to cigarpulpit.com and sign up for the newsletter. It's free. It's coming in January, and you'll want to be in on that fun. So head on over there, sign up. A little pop-up window comes up, and you can sign up there. Noah, where can people follow you?
Facebook, Instagram. On Instagram, Mr. Zeleznik. On Facebook, Noah Zeleznik. For me, I try to, not so much this time of year, but in the spring and summer, I'm pretty active on the parishioners group on Facebook. So
there you go.
For me there.
There you go. Well, very cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to touch on. The nominations for Cigar of the Year. I think at some point I said a date for when that's going to end, but I can't remember what I said that date was going to be. So I'm going to say now, with firm finality, the nominations for the Parishioners Cigar of the Year will end on Monday, December 29th. So if you're in the Parishioners group, there's a post that's pinned in there. Just go to the group, find the featured pinned posts, and find where I have that, and you can comment on there. Just put a comment with your cigars that you think ought to be on the ballot. And if you are not on Facebook, just shoot me an email, nick@cigarpulpit.com. That's NICK@cigarpulpit.com. And just tell me what cigars you think ought to be listed there. The Parishioner Cigar of the Year, we do it. We've done it a number of years now. Basically, it is all a listener thing. I have nothing to do with it. All I do is compile your list. You guys send me your suggestions. I put together the list. I put together a ballot. After I get the final list, put together at the end of Monday the 29th, I'll put a ballot together. I'll put the link out there. You guys will have a couple weeks to vote on it. And basically, the winner of the vote is the Parishioner's pick for Cigar of the Year. And, we'll go from there. But, so head on over there. If you haven't gotten your nominees in, you have a couple more days. You have basically this upcoming weekend to do that. And then after Monday the 29th, I will start compiling up the ballot, and I will announce when the voting will begin. So make sure you get in on that if you haven't already. Otherwise,
you got a pretty good you got a pretty good list.
Yeah, it's not been bad so far. Let me I have the list right here on my phone. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cigars under consideration. There's
been some pretty good cigars this year too.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I can think of like 4 or 5 solid sticks.
Yeah, I mean there's some real legitimate contender cigars here. There's ones that there's at least maybe 2 that I can look at and say, okay, that's a limited edition thing that it's unlikely that too many of the parishioners have smoked, so I don't know how many votes it's going to get. Because I don't juice this anyway. I don't put any cigars on the list, and I don't nominate any cigars, and I don't vote on it at all. So this is all purely listener driven. So it's a matter of what shops carry what,
And quick hits. Previous winners, I know. West Tampa Black,
West Tampa Black, the Red, Perdomo 30th Sungrown.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Is that it? Is it just those? Have we only done 3?
3. So this will be the 4th year. Yeah, those are all.
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel like that's it.
I mean, if that list shows you anything, I mean, those are all 3 of those very good sticks.
Yes, exactly.
The listeners know listeners know what they're talking about. Those are all solid cigars that have been smoked and that they are able to review and get it out there. I mean, those are customer proven. Those are good cigars.
And I'll say both Perdomo and West Tampa are represented on the list. There's a couple other brands that have a couple listed there. So I mean, there's some good ones listed on here that I hope that I hope we get a lot of voters, and I hope we make sure that we represent well. So, but anyway, that's coming up soon.
Nick, is it safe to say that Cigar of the Year by the Cigar Pulpit will not be $75 retail?
No, it will not be $75 retail. There is no cigar on this list that is anywhere near that price point. Yeah. For those of you who may be wondering, for those of you who may be wondering, I'm not talking about the Cigar Aficionado list this year, and I'm not doing like a whole episode or anything on it because, quite frankly, I don't feel as though it's relevant anymore. I feel like it's all the same shit, or it's all the same brands, put out there, and it's just like, okay, what sequence are they going to be in this time? And let's throw a wild card in there, and don't get me wrong, for those of them who make it on, they promote it and they trumpet it, and there's some brands that they get the nod that is unexpected, but from what I've been told by various people at various companies, all that results in is Cigar Aficionado coming to them and saying, "Hey, you made the list, congratulations. Are you interested in a $250,000 ad buy for the next year to tell all of our readers about you and your brand?" And it's a way to entice these brands to buy advertising and everything. So like realistically, I just more power to. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure the Padron 60th is a wonderful cigar. I'm not spending $75 on one because I just I don't want to burn that kind of money on a cigar. That's just not me. but
yeah,
whatever.
and I mean, we talked a lot of this about a lot of this off the air, but yeah, it's essentially the top 10, especially when you get to the number 1 or 2, is a revolving list of 5 or 6 brands. So
exactly.
You can pretty well predict what's going on. I think the real intrigue and the real importance comes from the full 25 list. In other words, if you get nominated in that top 25, it's good to boost your business, especially if you're a smaller company, just so you can say you got to the
maybe a little bit. But let's be real. What does getting number 14? And I'm not picking on number 14. I don't even know who number 14 is. But what does getting number 14 really do for a company?
Right. Well, let's take this list in particular this year. And I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head, but there were certain cigars there that I frankly was not that familiar with, and because they made the list, makes me want to try them out. One in particular stands out to me. Of course, I don't remember the name, but it was a AJ Fernandez cigar. I want to say there was a goat involved.
Yeah, the one with the goat on it. I think that was.
Yeah,
was that number 8? I think it may have been number 8, or maybe
something
number 9,
like that.
Something
So I'll be interested and I'll seek that cigar out because I'm not familiar with it. It got a high rating. And so there's stuff like that,
Well, the Ferio Tego, I think Supreme or whatever it was, that got number 10. I think that's awesome because I know, Michael Herklotz, he doesn't do any advertising. He's a small brand. He doesn't have the money for that right now. And so he's not really doing any advertising. It's just pure sales and word of mouth. And I mean, and look, and I've had that cigar, and it's a good cigar.
You could put that, on your cigar box in the cigar shop, number 9 on Cigar Aficionado top 25, just a little, silent seller there.
You got 2 of them on the top 10 that were Cubans. And I've gone over that in the past, when they've selected a Cuban number 1. I don't think that does anybody any good to be putting Cubans in the same list as all the rest of them that we can get in the States. But whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I have my thoughts, and I just am like, it's just, I guess it's one of those things. It just doesn't interest me. I'll look at it when I get the email, and I'll be like, okay, that got it. But to dedicate an entire episode to it, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that because I don't have anything to say.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yes,
Yep.
I basically feel the same.
Yeah. But no, there will be no $75 cigars on the ballot amongst the parishioners. You guys are there's maybe like one that's in the $20 range, $22 range. But aside from that, there's really not any of them that are too much higher than that. That's probably the most expensive one listed here. So.
And when is the winner announced?
I will put the ballot out after, so we'll close the voting or the nominees on the 29th. Probably give me a couple days to get the ballot put together because I got to refigure out how to do the ballot creation in the Google Docs. And so I'm hoping that maybe I'm hoping that I'll be announcing January 2nd in that episode that the voting will have begun. And we'll give it a couple weeks. We'll give it like 2 weeks. So probably sometime in the middle of January, we'll be announcing the winner of the Parishioner Cigar of the Year. So
sounds good. I look forward to it.
Yep.
I submitted, and honestly, some years are a little more challenging than others. For me, this year, it was pretty clear what I thought should be Cigar of the Year, so it wasn't too hard for me to decide number 1 this year.
Well,
I emailed that right away.
You did. I would say you were one of the first ones, and one of them that you submitted. Right? Where is it on this? Didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I think I did like a top 3. Yeah.
Where is that one on this list? I see that one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
You had
I think my number.
What?
2 or 3 made this Cigar Aficionado list.
Yeah, I thought so.
It did. I don't know. I don't remember the exact.
Now I got to find your email because I'm like looking at my list here of ones, and I'm like, where the hell is that one? I thought that was, yeah. No, you did not submit that one to me.
Oh, okay.
You gave me 3 of them, but you didn't give me that one.
Yeah.
So
okay.
interesting, but all right. Well, we can discuss that. But anyway, yeah. So, no, I mean, look, more power to those that won. Good for them. I hope it's beneficial for you. But like I said, it didn't interest me. But anyway,
yeah, I'll be looking forward to the two guys list here coming up. There a lot of the people that made their contenders pack is ones that I had picked as my a year or two. So
I will say that
it's a pretty good pack this year.
I am seeing some crossover between the parishioners nominees and that pack.
Yeah.
Not entirely,
Yeah.
but there is some crossover. So
Yeah, like I said, this is a pretty good year.
yeah,
there's a lot of good cigars that came out this year. So
yeah, no, there are. So. Well, dude, thank you so much for taking time out. I always like these episodes, as morbid as they can be.
My pleasure. Yeah, I was going to say, as grim as the topic is, I hope listeners get some sort of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry if I fucking murdered anybody inadvertently, but I mean,
we didn't do shit.
Yeah,
we didn't do shit.
I mean,
it just happens.
I'm putting that disclaimer out there in case
Yeah,
we're doing an emergency pod in the next 2 days.
All you did was, you plucked some low hanging fruit. So at this point, if anybody that you said passes, let's be real, it was happening whether you announced it or not. So,
and honestly, I'm not entirely convinced Frankie Valli is not already dead. To be honest with you,
he could be. It could be like one of those Disney automated robot things, like the little.
That's what he looks like. Yeah, he looks like he's straight out of
it's a
animatronic. He looks
there you go, animatronic. That was the word.
It's like Westworld. Frankie Valli looks like he came on a Westworld.
There you go. All right. Well, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
This is Noah. Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry belated by a day, but Merry Christmas. We're in the same.
Happy Boxing Day. Happy Boxing Day.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. You going boxing on Boxing Day? Is that
I
a
don't
thing?
plan it unless I get a street fight, maybe.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's how. What you gonna? That's how Rocky V was. You gonna go out and go beat up somebody in an alleyway?
I mean, I could get in an altercation at the gas station, I guess. I don't plan on getting any fights, but we'll see.
Oh, there you go.
I might have to put Dick Van Dyke over the edge.
Oh shit! Now we got elder abuse. All right, later, guys.
Bye.